Daryl Morey joins us. Now, Daryl obviously has been on the Ricky before to talk about basketball, but if I can reveal, I got a direct message from Daryl saying, I have this Spotify playlist that my daughter is telling me I should release, and I think it might be good for your Carl Landry thing. And you sent the playlist, and it's 42 hours long, and can you give just the context of this playlist and why you're here right now? Thank you, but give the context.
Sure. Yeah, so I have this monster playlist because I just have one, and I'll just I think it's really dumb to just have one playlist, right? Yeah. But I have it. I mean, so yeah, my daughter loves it, and she's like partly my social media manager. She does my Instagram. I do my Twitter.
Okay.
So that's why I get fined on Twitter and not on Instagram. But yeah, she said, and then I think you had asked me earlier to come on the Carl Landry because I was like, well, I have to do something named after Carl Landry. That was my second official GM draft pick. I mean, Steve Novak was sort of my first because I was the assistant GM, but Carol Dawson and I were already working together. But Aaron Brooks was my first draft pick as a GM, and then Carl was second in a very tumultuous trade with Sam Presti, where it counted down 3, 2, 1 to the clock before Sam agreed to the deal. So Carl Landry holds a other thing about Carl Landry, he had no ligaments in his knees. So I don't know if people knew this, but he was a medical miracle that he played because he had no ACL and he could play in the NBA. And the reason he could, according to our orthopedist in Houston, was that he had worked so much on his muscles around his knee, and he had severe arthritis, which was super painful. And the arthritis itself, which is this bone on bone, had created a stable knee because the bones had formed almost grooves so that it was stable with muscle. So he had no ACL. Not many people probably know that.
The front half is the first, 10, 15 hours or all
So
musical?
It started out as I did a Facebook thread with my friends on the top musical songs of all time. So that's the first 40. And then I would listen to that and I got sick of 40 songs. So I just when I heard a song I liked, I just kept adding it. And then it was I was stuck. It was too much work to extract it. And so I'm too busy to take all the time to put them into their own place. So I just add stuff. Every once in a while I'll prune as well. So
what are you? So my wife is a big. I've seen a lot of musicals, Broadway musicals, because my wife likes them. I don't like them very much. I tend to not like the legendary ones, and the ones that I liked don't last very long. I liked Big Fish, and I liked American Psycho. What are you a musical Broadway person, or did that conversation just come out of nowhere?
No, I'm definitely. I love musicals. In fact, my playlist is called Thematic Songs, and the idea originally was top musical songs. I changed it to thematic because I like big themed things. I like Pink Floyd, The Wall. I like the Meatloaf album, Rest in Peace, Jim Steinman, the first one. Any albums that have a general theme, which used to be a bigger thing. I think now you have 4 guest stars and you just release one song. But we're all old enough where people would release albums even Men Without Hats, Pop Goes the World album. Every song related to the other songs on that album, and so I like when there's a theme to my albums. Do you do the playlist as you release this so people can see my psychotic playlist?
Yeah, so what I'm gonna do is now these take a few days for me to produce, but what I'll do is I'll
do it after a win. After a win,
yes, I'll hold it for a win. I will.
Thank you.
I will put some clips in the actual pod, and then in the post there will be a link to the Spotify playlist that everyone can enjoy. Your one fucking playlist. One. It's unbelievable.
Well, the only thing I do is listen to the Rights to Ricky Sanchez.
Yeah,
on Spotify.
Yeah.
And so I have to go with music in the shower though, because I tried to listen to Ricky Sanchez in the shower, but it gets too garbled. I can't.
Don't.
You guys don't enunciate enough.
Well, that's Mike. I'm a professional broadcast. Mike does. There's a little.
Mutlu, have you weighed in on Mike being high during these podcast recordings or not?
Has he been? Is he high often?
So there's a listener. There's a listen. Okay, when we started putting it on YouTube, and now people can see Mike.
Let's see if I can do Mike.
In addition to his in addition to like that, he looks like he's high.
This is like Mike, like, hey, he's like his hair's got to come down, like,
yeah.
I've never. I'm trying to think now. The few times I've been on there, he seems like maybe like I'd say, yeah, he might have. I'm not saying he has, but I could see how maybe he might have talked a bit.
Yeah, and the eyes sort of come. I can't even do it, but like the eyes are sort of like like this. And
well, we record. You'd think we record. Some Wednesday nights or Tuesday nights, but also like Saturday or Sunday morning. You'd think we were recording. He's on the West Coast at like 7 a.m. Eastern time with how tired he acts like he is. We recorded at fucking 11 o'clock Eastern time. The 8 a.m. is not so early that you can't get up and do the podcast. So some of it is tired,
Yes.
So,
well, yeah. The takes are sharp though. I do.
Thank you. Yeah,
absolutely.
I always counted when I first got to Houston and here. I try to find the people who actually know basketball, and it's sadly often a shocking few, and I gravitate to them, so I don't have to like be tortured when I talk to them. So it's good. So.
Well, I appreciate that. I think partially our bit is acting like we're being idiots, but secretly maybe knowing a little bit of what we're talking about. So
I'd say you're a little hard on Ben, but we can have that debate some other time. So,
yeah. You know what it is? I am hard. It has become such a divisive thing that what happens is I'm reacting to the reactors who are acting, because that's what everybody does. Like acts like what I do is I see the response is like, this is not a problem at all, and I'm like, well, that's fucking crazy. So it just becomes like a battle of straw men instead of a real discussion.
Instead of like a discussion. Yeah.
So
that never happens in sports. So.
No. Well, I mean, it's my entire career now is based. I love it. I think it's, to be clear, I think it's fun to debate that way, but I don't know that it's productive to actually finding like a specific answer to what
Probably
you're looking
not.
for. Yeah.
Probably not. So, hey, thanks for having me on. That was
but that's your job, by the way, not our job. Yeah.